Start recording. So, welcome back to Rhapsody of Blood Session 3. We have a new person joining the team, and Saigon the Mystic from the Hidden Hand. So, Saigon, you will have encountered other explorers, other members of the occult underworld of medieval Europe, themselves searching for mystical wisdom or arcane treasure or justice against the monsters of the castle, an evil corrupting force from outside the universe. So, do you want to pick one relationship that you have with one of the other people? We have Isidore Shepherd, a headstrong fighter from the Shepherds, a humble group of warriors. Hector, a camouflaged and mysterious member of an order devoted to seeking power and arcane might. And Alexandria, a I don't know, a wise and learned member of a spiritual library devoted to living out particular legends and making themselves legend. So these are the three. You'll have a list of possible suggested covenants. Do you want to pick one person and pick one of those relationships you have with them?
It sounds like I probably would have come across Alexandria in my time seeking knowledge.
Okay.
Everybody loves Alexandria.
Ooh. One of us has strange dreams that the other is studying.
Nice. All right. Which of you has the strange dreams?
I think it's probably Saigon. I think that's probably maybe one of the reasons why she came to the library.
Okay.
I love how I'm also having strange dreams, but I'm not having Alexandria study them. Hector is studying them instead.
Yes.
Whoa.
2 pairs of strange dreams.
Tell me about your dreams.
Well, first we'll have Alexandria tell us about your dreams.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so I'm studying your dreams. That's the move here. I think so you're a nomadic people, is that correct? So maybe the dream is something. The dream is of the anxiety of settlement. Maybe something about the way that the castle sort of forces us into enclaves and is eradicating a nomadic lifestyle or making that more and more difficult. And so the dreams are of pushing back against that.
Yeah, sure. That sounds pretty terrifying, losing our freedom.
You can amend that as you see fit.
I'd also like probably maybe a flavor of potential foreknowledge. So maybe there are aspects of the dream of places that I know are real, and it probably felt more alive and more tangible than your standard dream. And I think I was probably searching out deeper meaning.
Possibly it's predicted places that the corruption might spread. and taint. All right. So Hector and Isidore, do either of one of you want to have a relationship with Alexandria?
My relationships
Not
are
Alexandria,
full.
sorry, not Alexandria, Saigon.
My relationships are full, as I was
Okay.
saying, so I can't really make another one.
Let me take
All
a
right.
look and see what the relationship suggestions are here. So these are covenants that we're going for?
Yes.
Let's see. Ooh, I'm interested in one of us is heavily in debt to the other, and I'm betting that I'm in Saigon's debt, maybe. Yeah.
You totally are.
Yeah.
I think that you probably came to me for some sort of mystical deed to happen, whether it was obtaining some truth or a poison. But I think rather than deal in monetary exchange, I think I like to deal in favors and secrets.
I like that. That sounds good.
All right. So, when we left the main body of the explorers last week, they had just defeated the Archredeemer in the main hall of the castle and had found, through a strange and circuitous back passage of the tunnels, entry into the crystal spheres, an otherworldly dimension where the rolling heavenly bodies are approaching some strange alignment. So, Saigon, your caravan has recently arrived on the outskirts of Rome, where all the omens show that terrible things are afoot. How do you see yourself finding your way through the cracks between dimensions and worlds to where the other explorers stand?
I think I probably woke one morning from one of these premonitions, forewarning type dreams, and I, got up in a bit of a flurry, collecting my alchemist tools, and by a small open flame created almost a smoke screen of chemicals and ornaments and essences that I've claimed from people for doing different jobs over the years. And I walk through this smoke screen that I created into that universe.
All right. Lovely. So, yeah. Hector, this is the place that you, in the path of conflagration, have been most interested in scouting out. And the three of you have emerged from that pit on the surface of a grey orb, which is slowly rolling down a channel in the crystal. And you can see the vast dome of the world spread out above you in the sky above. And structures in the rising out of the crystal around you, small buildings and vast machines, all made of this transparent crystal. where do you go from here? Because the ball that you're on is rolling, and well, you can't stay on it forever.
Right. How big is the ball that we're on? Like if I mean,
would
is
say,
yeah.
Go for it.
Sorry, no, go for it. No, go ahead. How big?
I would say it's probably 3 or 4 stories.
Okay. All right. And is it rolling really fast? I mean, like we need to like jump off it now, or do I realize that we can explore a little bit where we are before we need to make our way elsewhere?
I would say you have to move. Well, once you realized the situation you were in, you had to move quite quickly. It's certainly a brisk walking pace to stay level on top of the thing.
Okay. Yeah. So I think all right. So has Saigon joined us yet, or not yet?
Not yet.
Okay. So yeah, I think well, first of all, I think that just for Saigon's benefit, last time I got an upgrade that changed my eyes from normal human eyes until basically my eyes are black star fields. You can see like it's black. You can see stars, nebulae, and that kind of thing in my eyes. I think they actually kind of match the overall aesthetic of this place, you know, because as I'm getting power from the castle, it's actually this particular pocket dimension that I've been taking power from. So it's very similar. I think I immediately turn us the direction, you know, where we can continue to walk and stay on top of this and start to lead us that direction. Just so that we can see what's happening here while not being tumbled underneath this thing.
Good stuff. And as you crest over the rise, because there are sort of pock marks and craters on the moon that you are walking on, there is a vast outpouring of smoke and fumes from the ground. There seems to sort of fissure has sort of opened and vented, and as the gas clears, there is a figure standing amid the fumes. One that you recognize.
Yeah. I think I probably turned to that spot like before that started happening a little bit, and then I just very nonchalantly just say, Saigon, I've been expecting you. You know, this is, you know, it's good that you're here.
Do I know Saigon?
Guessing, was it? I'm sorry, I thought you said it was. Was it not? Or is it someone else? I apologize.
No, it is Saigon. It is.
Okay.
But I'm not sure that Isidore knows them.
Yeah, that's my point.
Right.
So, do the 3 of you want to just describe yourselves? Describe what Saigon sees? Well, Hector has already done it, I suppose.
Isidore is a big burly man who with a big freaking sword. And yeah, simple.
Nice.
Alexandria is the bonded. She's sort of what does she do? I guess she channels spirits that are associated with these texts that she studies, and she has a sort of tattoo, a title of a myth tattooed to her arm that she thinks that sort of takes corporeal shape.
Nice. All right. So, Saigon, you're confronted with this group of people in a really quite weird landscape. Nothing that you've seen has quite prepared you for it, though some of your dreams have come close.
I think Saigon tries to like are they in the path of this crystal orb?
You're all on the surface of this orb.
This moon. Okay. Saigon wafts over to the other explorers, recognizing Hector, and like, where are we? I know how I got here, and I know why I came here, but why are you here?
I think I'll just kind of nonchalantly, almost like I'll explain this in a way that I'm like, well, of course. I mean, obviously, right? I think it's like we're in a pocket dimension. This is part of the castle. This is why we're here, to be able to stop this blight on the land. You've been called as well as we have.
Alexandria rolls her eyes.
What was that? Sorry, you broke up.
Alexandria rolls her eyes.
I turn my non-eyes on you and just look at you for a second and then look away.
I recoil.
Isidore seems to not give a crap at this point. I mean, his lover is saved, kind of. Let's just keep going and kill the regent, I guess.
So for what it's worth, Isidore, as these three are having their spooky occult reunion, you're just sort of glancing around, and you can spot on the path that this orb is taking as it rolls along this channel in the crystal sphere, there seems to be some sort of obstacle, some sort of barrier built there. There are chunks of rough-hewn crystal piled up in a ramp, maybe? And divert, sort of like it's designed to divert the ball out of this channel and elsewhere.
Get ready to jump on the crystal, guys. I say, pointing out the crystals that are floating somewhere.
Yeah. So yeah, for what it's worth, so you're on top of the orb, and on either side on the channel, which it's not that much of a drop, there seem to be small buildings or structures made out of the crystal or machinery that are slowly turning about a story tall. And possibly where you started, you were outside of a habitable area, but now you can see small silvery creatures inside those buildings, spindly limbed and made of gleaming metal.
Oh, hey, it became
pointing
legacy.
to you and chittering you. What do you do?
I will defer to Hector or Alexandria to see what these creatures are.
Yeah, I think I will. I think I'm staring intently at what's going on there. I'm trying to ascertain, what these creatures are about. Whether they pose danger to us. I'm just trying to read the situation.
All right, give me a glass roll.
All right, my glass is, I believe, 2. Okay, so it's going to be 2d6 plus 2. And that's a 13.
Good stuff.
All right. Okay, so I get to ask some questions here. So 3 questions. All right. What should I be on the lookout for, first of all?
All right. So, as Isidore spotted, there seem to have been all sorts of things constructed. The natural order of this place altered to divert the orbs from their proper arrangement into an artificial conjunction. All of these orbs, so you're standing on effectively a symbol for the moon, and all of these orbs seem to be being shunted out of alignment and into a strange new alignment.
Okay.
And more prosaically, it's going to be pretty bad to be on the orb when it gets shunted.
Yeah. Okay. I think I start to point these things out as I'm, asking these questions. So I'll say, these, this moon, it's being shunted into an alignment that's unnatural. This is going to be dangerous. And of course, I look down at our feet and I'm like, we should get off of here shortly. But I want to ask my next question. So what here is valuable?
Okay. So you can see a bit off in the distance, quite far away from the channel, a slowly turning orrery made of gleaming silver that to your eyes seems like a diagnostic sort of tool for this whole thing, an orrery for an alternate dimension. You might be able to get some insight or some power there.
Okay. I think I point that out to my companions at this point, and just say that might be a very good spot for us to search first. And then I'm going to continue to look around, and I want to see what exit will take me to my goal after that.
All right. And your goal is?
I think we're moving. That's a good question. I guess we're just trying to move closer to the regent here. I'm sorry, not the regent. The
Acolyte?
what are they? Acolyte. Yes, the acolyte of this particular pocket dimension.
Okay. I will say, actually, from where you are standing at the moment, you don't have the information to know where the acolyte is.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay.
But you can probably, at the very least, spot a building that's coming up on the left-hand side of the trench that's quite tall and would be a quite easy jump from the top of the sphere to get you to the ground floor.
Perfect. All right. So yeah, if there's no if everybody's cool with it, I think I would probably lead us to the towards this part of the orb that'll get us close to that tall building, so we can leap off and make our way there.
Sounds good. All right. Who is taking the lead here?
Hector?
Okay. I just don't want to hog, spotlight or anything like that. So if anybody else wants to do stuff, please just jump in. I'm not, I'm totally cool if anyone else wants to like push ahead or something like that. Whatever you want to do.
I would, but Isidore isn't really in a position to to disagree with anything Hector says, especially in that pocket dimension where we're on the moon. So
sure. Okay, so we're on the top of the building now. Is that the case?
Yeah. You can make your way across there, leap off, and
great.
Yes, you're now on this crystal building.
Okay.
Looking through its somewhat translucent flooring, though, you can see those small spindly creatures are gathering on the floor beneath, and sort of nudging each other and chittering in whatever language it is they speak. One of you, Alexandria, you notice that as you jumped over here, possibly some writing supplies of some kind fell out of your pack, because some of the creatures are looking at them and holding them aloft and turning them around and pulling them apart and studying them.
Those bastards. You said writing utensils?
Yeah, probably like quill, ink, pots.
And these are people these are these creatures on the roof with us, or they're in the
They're
floor
on the
below?
ground. So you're now to the side of the channel. You can see the moon tumbling along past you. But imagine the channel is like a canal. You're on the canal side, and these creatures are outside the building that you're currently on.
Okay. Can I want to consult, I want to run spectral knowledge. I want to consult my spirit to see if they've encountered these creatures before, and whether or not I need to go. If it's just the instruments, then I'm okay with that. If it's something more personal, like our diary or a copy of the book that is sort of keep strapped to my body, then shit's gonna go down.
All right. Give me a sulfur roll to see how a glass roll, sorry, to see how you ask how clear-headed your spirit is.
That's 9.
All right.
So do I pick the 2 or do you?
You pick the 2.
Let's say spirit will confuse parts of its past for the present. I also liked what we did with the last one. The spirit will ask you to agree to something before it answers.
Okay. And your question to the shield maiden that you call up is?
I guess what stories do we know about about this crystal pocket dimension? What are these creatures? And yeah, I think those are two separate questions.
The spirit appears beside you, gauzy and insubstantial for the time being, and peers over the railings and then across this vast crystal landscape. And yes.
Maybe the first option doesn't really make sense here. Maybe the spirit can't perceive some significant detail. This isn't
no, I've got thoughts for that. So it turns to you and says, "Ah, Alexandria, you have found yourself in a strange and foreign city, have you not? I remember traveling through somewhere like this. We came for trade, of course, but they were so clever, so ingenious. We had no chance. We were stripped of our possessions and money and abandoned. Misfortune will come to you here. I can sense it. Yes. But perhaps you can reverse that. Yes, you are in the city. I was in the city. Yes, yes. I feel this is a place where fortune comes. There is somewhere in here a guiding star, a constellation that you can alter. You can bring luck back to me. Yes, you can restore my lost luck. Will you do that, Alexandria?
You know that I will.
Good, good, good. Yes. It is so odd here, but these creatures, they are building something new. Yes, they're building something ingenious and new, and they're going to try and take the old things to make their new things. Yes, I believe so. Beware of the stars, the new stars. They're hungry. Maybe tameable? Wild creatures, you understand. Feed them and they may serve you. Yes. I'm sorry, this place has me very out of sorts. And she sort of shakes her head and disassociates.
I love it. Just to clarify the detail, so I'm restoring the lost luck of Thestra. You said find the star. Is that the detail?
Yeah, find the constellation. It's sort of horoscopy sort of feel to it, you think.
Cool, thanks.
Right. And looking down, it does look like it was just a quill of yours, some ink, maybe some of that sand that you use, to blot ink and once it's written. None of your diaries, but now they are looking up to the upper level where you're standing and pointing long silvery fingers and talking to each other excitedly.
I think we need to get out of here, people.
I agree.
Agreed. Any ideas on how to avoid these creatures as we make our way down?
You could hide. You're on the roof, so it's plausible to avoid notice. Take another way off the building.
How close are these buildings to one another? Can we jump from rooftop to rooftop, vertigo
It's
style?
doable.
I like the jumping from rooftop on rooftop. I'm not sure if everyone else agrees.
Saigon isn't stoked on that idea, but I don't think they like the look of the spindly, metallic pointing creatures.
Yeah. I think Hector feels pretty at home in this little pocket dimension, so jumping to the other roof sounds just fine. I mean, I'm kind of nonplussed about it. So.
All right. Does whoever's taking point want to give me a lurk roll to try and avoid this group of creatures?
Who is taking point at this point?
Well, you can if you want to. Or...
Well,
He's
I
got
was
some good
I was gonna
Mercury.
do something on my own, which is
Okay.
I'll do the accelerate perceptions
Okay.
to do that for myself. So I'm gonna take one harm and I will go to the other side.
All right.
Really
You just
fast.
blur and appear on the other side in a burst of speed.
Yes. Let me go to my character and mark one harm.
All right. So...
I can lead if
Saigon,
no one else wants to.
do you
There,
want
or
to-
you want to do it, Saigon?
Do you want to take the lead in avoiding the notice of this horde?
No. I think
Okay.
Saigon tries to stay on the roof for as long as possible and is probably the last one off.
Right, maybe it's
Okay.
Alexandria. I think Alexandria jumps first.
All right. Okay, let's see how stealthy you are in that. Probably not very.
What am I rolling? Iron?
Mercury.
Mercury.
Ooh, yeah.
Not gonna be good. That's a 5.
All right.
I think that's my
Yes.
first failed roll in 3 sessions.
All right. You jump from the top of this building, hoping to land on the lower roof of the building next to you, but you're just too short, and you sort of catch yourself on the lip of it, and you're just hanging with one hand from it, and you can hear chittering from the group behind you as they seem to have noticed the thump. Hector and Sigan, sorry, waiting. Well, you're about to jump yourselves on the roof above, and you see Alexandria just go sort of thwump, and like they've had the wind knocked out of them. And some of these silvery metal creatures have spotted them and are turning to investigate. What do you do?
I don't like the idea of Alexandria being down there alone. I think Saigon is shaking their head and is like fine, and leaps down onto the ground where Alexandria is. Probably really clumsily as well.
Is Alexandria on the ground or still just kind of holding on to up near the top of the building? Where is Alexandria though?
Just holding on to the sort of first floor lip of it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I misunderstood.
It's all right.
No, she probably jumps across to the other side of the other roof to try and help Alexandria up.
Okay. All right. All right. Give me a Mercury roll to see how well you do that.
Not so good.
Which move is this, by the way? Just lurk as well?
Yeah. All right. Goodness me. So you steer yourself and try to run and leap onto the other roof, and you don't quite make the exact same error as Alexandria in mistiming your jump, but it's close. You sort of actually don't even make it to the other building, landing on the floor below. It's quite nasty. Take a point of harm. And Isidore, you're sort of standing on top of your building where you sort of blurred up
I
there.
have to because I am dazed and exhausted for a few seconds.
Yes. So you're just sort of pulling yourself out of it, and you're like, "Phew, well, I made it across well enough. How's everyone else doing? Oh, God."
Yeah, pretty much. I'm gonna help Alexandria up, first of all.
Okay. Yep, you can just reach down and pull them up, but you can see Sigan winded on the floor below, and the spindly creatures now coming towards them en masse.
All right. I'm gonna tell Alexandria. You gonna do the shield maiden thing?
I say, go help Sigan. I will. I'll be right behind you.
All right. I will jump down then, and we'll face the horde, I guess.
Okay. You pull out your giant greatsword and swing it at them.
Yes.
Give me an iron roll.
Bruh. Good things come from iron. That is a 12.
Good. All right, so that is one pick from the list.
I'm gonna say I end up in a risky position.
All right. Interesting.
Do what you will with that, I guess.
So you swing into these creatures, and there's a brief moment of panic in your mind as your greatsword just sort of glances off the first one with a shower of sparks, and then you just sort of grit your teeth and put more effort into it and start hacking through them. But it's tough work, and you keep having to give ground. And eventually, by the time you've defeated this group, by the time you sent them packing, you realize that you're standing on a sort of ledge on the side of this channel. And yes, you can see the rumbling. Well, because of your momentary deafening from the speed of your attacks, you didn't quite notice the rumbling moon rolling towards you.
All right. So I don't notice the moon. Who does?
Hector?
Yeah, I think I've stepped up to the side, and I was just like, my eyes were kind of starting to glow like brighter and brighter as I was about to try and help you with those creatures, but you seem to have taken care of them. And now I'm looking, and so I'm seeing the moon kind of coming towards him. Is that the case?
Yes.
Okay. Oh man. That's gonna be the best way to do this. Huh. Let's oh man, it's probably too big to be able to do that. I was thinking about being able to like stop it or kind of blast it slightly off track with my eyes, since they have that hefty tag, but I don't know if that's even possible with as big as this thing is.
I'll be willing to give it a shot.
Okay, let's do that. All right, so then yeah, I turn my eyes as they're kind of gearing up. They're starting to glow brighter and brighter, individual stars there, and I think I just unleash a blast of starlight directly into the thing, just trying to knock it off course enough to not steamroll our friend here.
Okay. All right. There isn't I'm probably going to put together some sort of move for affecting the environment or dealing with dangers in the environment. But for the time being, a iron roll will do us here, I think.
Okay. Let's see, my iron is 0, so it'll just be a straight 2d6. Let's hope this goes well. I get a 6. Oh no. We're all missing rolls right now.
I'm gonna. Well, I'm not. And I'm not missing that roll that's coming over with the moon.
Does anyone want to give to help? I mean, actually,
I would be helping myself at that point, I think.
yes. I mean, I think you could probably help Hector help you.
How?
Paying attention to this giant blast of starlight.
I guess I will use my covenant, I guess. Because he nursed me back to health, so I know he has my back or something.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't push across the changes to the help and hinder move, apparently. Let me just bring up the version I have here.
So what's the difference, real quick?
The difference is that you just roll a appropriate stat with advantage if you have a covenant with them. And
so what's the covenant rating for?
It is for spending to summon them when they're not present, and oh no, wait. Yes, you spend a point of covenant on them to give that help or hinder roll advantage.
Okay, so it is an appropriate stat, I guess, class.
Yes, I think so.
And I'm going to spend that point of covenant because I don't want to fail. And I get an 8.
Good. All right. So I'll say that with that, you spot this. So the beam of starlight isn't quite enough to knock the moon out of place because it's a moon. But you notice it just in time to dive off this spur that you found yourself on as the moon smashes it aside, and you fly out and land in a rain of crystal splinters, which is painful, I'd probably say. So take a point of harm from that, but you're okay.
I don't know if I want to use a wound at this point. Let me think. I want to say I take a wound and mark contamination.
Okay, sounds good.
Wound, crystal splinters, and I'm guessing the contamination is because the crystals are contaminated. I suppose.
Yes, I'd say definitely so.
Yeah.
All right. So the four of you can pick yourselves up, what's the word?
Regroup.
Get back together and head off.
All right.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah.
I will take point because I can. I guess we're going to the orrery that Hector pointed out.
Yeah, that's right. That's where I'd want to go. Yeah.
Do you need me to make a blood roll?
Yep. So you get advantage on this because you're acting on Hector's answer.
Oh, that's great. I get a +2 on top of that. So that is a 9 + 2, 11.
Nice. All right. So you get a point of hold. What do you understand better about this weird crystal dimension as you navigate?
I guess the pattern of the moons and the stars. Like, I'm guessing the pattern they're going through, especially because I was almost rolled over by the moon.
Okay. So, as in, you realize
Literally rolled over by the moon.
yeah. So you cross more of these channels and you realize that they're taking the shape that the stars and moons and planets take in the night sky as the seasons turn. So you might be able to predict where you might find, say, Jupiter or the Pleiades or what have you. And yes, you arrive at the orrery. It is a wonderful, shining silver thing made of turning gears and finest clockwork and mercury mechanisms that defy reason. It's part clock, part fountain, part celestial device. And you're in this sort of square surrounding it and seem on your own for now.
So what's so important about this place, Hector?
I think I would walk up and start examining all the machinery and anything else that seems of use around here, and just trying to mentally kind of suss out what this all means and how we can benefit from it.
Okay. So, as you're peering into it, you are obviously somewhat attuned to this place, and you understand that it is a tool of understanding, a tool of cosmic awareness. This, in all its four-dimensional complexity, charts the passage of all the celestial bodies of heaven through the sky. But you can see that parts of it are clashing, parts of it are in disharmony. You also know that there is power here to be taken if you wish. But maybe other people can sense that too. In fact, yes, all of you can sense energy thrumming through this thing. And it's not so much the tainted power of the castle, that dark and corruptive force. It's more the bright and cold power of the alien, the enigma from outside of reality.
When we see what's you said, there's things that are wrong here. Is that what we do? I intuit that that's what we were noticing before, how celestial bodies were kind of being diverted in their paths into a new alignment. Is that what I'm seeing here? And does it feel like that matches up with what we saw before, or is this something different?
Exactly. Where previously you'd seen blockages and put into the old channels and new channels being carved, that lines up with the problem seen here.
Okay. I think I would turn to everybody else and kind of explain all of that. And I think I would specifically talk to Alexandria and say, I overheard that there's a constellation that you need to find. Is that true? We might be able to do so here.
You know that it is. What can you tell me?
Nothing yet, but I think these machines can tell us where it is, where what you seek happens to be and where we can find it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Do I get the sense that if we take power from this, we wouldn't be able to do something, use it in that way, or is it something we could do both of those things? That
I think you could do both of those things.
Okay.
This is a pretty potent place, not something that one such as you can exhaust.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think I would immediately be drawn to that power and attempt to let's see, what is it called? Is it drink deep? I think I would do that. Yeah. I think my eyes would match up with whatever constellation that I'm looking at in this machinery, or wherever that the power that I'm seeing, and just kind of like sync up with that as I'm kind of absorbing power.
Okay, cool. Give me a sulfur roll.
All right, my sulfur is 0. 7.
All right.
You also mark contamination
Right,
for
Yes.
learning despair. Yeah.
Contamination, good. Give me all the contamination. Okay, and on a hit, you mark contamination and learn a spell. The GM says what it does. All right.
Okay, I'll just consult my big book of spells. It's not really a book, more a sidebar. But, all right.
What movie's rescue?
Pardon, sorry?
On a side note, what movie's rescue?
The move that used to be called Rescue is now called Stand With Me.
Okay, because that's still on my death move.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rename it.
Yeah, so I think the spell that you learn is you can choose to be uncoupled from gravity, from the standard terrestrial force pulling you to the earth. And like the celestial bodies in the sky, float unhindered.
Very cool. Okay. I'll hold on to that.
Right. Is anyone else looking to try and draw power from this orrery?
I don't think I'm trying to draw power, but I would like to find whatever information I can about Vestra's constellation.
Okay. Do you want to try and see clear here?
And is this something that I can aid with or not?
Yeah, certainly, totally.
Would you want my help with this, or was this something you'd just do?
I think it would be something I just do.
Cool. Go for it.
I got a 7.
All right. I'm assuming you're going to ask what can take you to your goal.
Yes, please.
All right. Yeah, so you focus on the whirling mercury of the orrery and pick out a piece that gleams with the light of the constellation your spirit described. And you can work out, doing brief sort of calculations in your head as you glance over the great arc of the crystal sphere stretching to the horizon, where you need to be for that. And it's
All right.
That away, cosmic north, past the orbit of Jupiter.
I think I tell the group this is where I need to go.
Then let's go.
All right. You taking the point, Alexandria?
Damn straight.
Okay. Give me a blood roll with advantage.
So that's 7, 8.
Okay. All right. So you push your way through this gleaming crystal city, occasionally making a way over these channels where orbs representing the planets and the stars and the celestial bodies roll. What do you learn about the crystal spheres as you do so?
Hmm. learn about the crystal spheres. Perhaps that something about how the alignment in this pocket dimension is has some corollary in the real world. That the persistence of this changing alignment can alter the alignment in the other world.
Okay, cool. And you are getting this sense as you walk along it, and that's almost immediately cause for concern, because you get to a point where there is just this fissure through the crystal under your feet, well, ahead of you, a giant black pit through which this sort of dark, slimy residue is seeping out into the crystal. And you can see this has swallowed up one of those channels, and you're not sure what is meant to be rolling along it, but it certainly isn't rolling along it anymore.
Does it seem like something that, how deep is this fissure? Is this something that we can fix, or is it something that we need to wall off to keep the crystals moving?
Well, as you peer over the edge, it seems like it goes on forever. Well, it's difficult to tell because it's pure darkness, but it's that dark that's so dark that you almost think you can see colors in it. And actually, maybe you can. Maybe you can see small points of light within the darkness rising up out of it, glimmering like stars in the night sky. But they're quite far away, difficult to quite make out what they are.
Is my posse here with me?
Yeah, they can sort of catch up with you at this point as you've been sort of forging on ahead.
I think I turn to Hector here, and without looking directly into your eyes, I say, what do you make of this?
Geez, okay, I think I'm going to... So we're right at the edge of this channel, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think I would kind of drop down to one knee right at the edge, like peer into this blackness, and I think my eyes probably take on kind of that tinge of just that color with just a few small, deep points of light that are just barely showing through, and I'm trying to understand what's going on here and really just get a good read on this.
Okay. Give me a C clear, I suppose.
All right.
Getting something of a pattern here.
Is a 9.
All right.
So on C clear, choices are I get one question. Oh boy. Are you asking me a specific question about what I think about what's happening here, Alexandria, or like what in particular are you trying to get me to find out for you?
I guess what are the implications of this fissure? What does it mean for the movement of these celestial bodies?
Okay, so I guess it'll be what should I be on? My question will be what should I be on the lookout for? Kind of leaning into what he's asking there.
All right. So this is another example of whatever evil force has taken up residence here, trying to convert things to its own way of being, its own celestial order. And you peer into that darkness, and those points of light that I mentioned, you can see they actually look like lanterns made of bone with a flame burning in the center, and skinless, leathery wings holding the lantern aloft. They're sort of flying out of this void, and it's difficult to get a sense of scale on them because they're so isolated in the darkness. But as you're watching, one crests up, and you can see it's about the size of a rhino or a small house. This bone structure surrounding a burning green fire. And the light, something about the light makes you think of a star.
So am I getting the sense that these stars have almost been imprisoned by whatever is happening here? Like these are stars being contained unnaturally? Is that what I think? Or,
I think so.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll just relay that to Alexandria. You know, those points of light are stars that are being contained unnaturally, and you know, this is messing with the natural order of the of these celestial bodies here.
I think she says, then we must free them.
Agreed.
Can I roll a spiritual fusion here and channel a spirit to perhaps try to dig out these stars?
All right. What would the spirit allow you to do in that case then?
I think maybe this is similar to what we did last session, which is creating a wall from like creating this this wall that can create some separation. So maybe we're trying to create a like a post hole digger, just dig straight through to one of these torches.
Okay. I'm thinking because the torches are being held inside flying cages, which do seem to be sort of flying up out of this dark pit into the firmament of the crystal spheres, sort of floating a bit level with you, but looking like it's looking to raise up into the sky above.
Interesting.
So getting to it might be a bit of an issue.
Sorry, paint that scene for me again. So they're rising up out of this darkness.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can see the Earth above you in the sky. And it looks like they're trying to fly up to hang between the crystal spheres and the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
No one has a ranged weapon. Oh wait, we do. We have the chaos eyes.
And a crossbow.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
Please.
I think in my let me know if I'm just getting carried away here. In my pouch of alchemical samples, I think I have a lime bomb. So like the lime powder in an explosive form, and I could hurl that if it's within like hurling distance towards one of these bone lanterns, and the lime could dissolve the bone.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea.
Free the star.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right. So, yeah, describe that for us then. How does Saigon assault the cages?
So, while we're all kind of standing around looking at these beautiful, terrible bone lanterns, Sygons just pulls out this leather satchel that's on their hip and rummages through it, kind of like a crazy bag person, and pulls out this. It looks like a stone, but the texture is quite a more pocked, almost like a little comet, and she lines up with the lantern in the distance and hurls it as hard as they can, and ideally, upon connection, the missile would break open in like a little explosion of smoke and dissolve the bone joints, and the bones containing the celestial body would fall apart, releasing the light.
All right, nice. So that sounds like assaulting a group of castle denizens with your arcane alchemical samples. So that would be an iron roll.
Iron. Not my best option.
All right. Okay.
Not great.
So a 6. You throw this pouch of lime, and it does connect with the lantern cage and starts hissing through the bone, but it's not much lime here, and it's giant bone. So what happens actually is you hear this sort of thrumming through the air, a bit like whale song or something, but clearly communicating pain and distress. And this lantern, borne aloft by these strange leathery muscular wings, just tilts to one side and crashes into the city. And you can see a sort of cloud of crystal and smoke rising up from that distance. But no liberated star.
So Saigon just takes a couple of steps back with their head down. Tries not to look at the smoking ruins of a glass city.
Well, Hector has that spell that allows him to defy gravity.
It's true.
Yeah. But I definitely have a ranged ability that I wouldn't really need to go up there for. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, I think I have an interesting way to use my chaos eyes for this. I don't really want to so I think I'll maybe take a step or two just closer towards the direction where we saw that crash down. And am I still able to see the lantern at this point?
Not really. It went behind some of the crystal buildings.
Oh, then never mind. And there are more of them in the sky?
Yeah, a couple more.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to try this. Let's see. So I'm able to see. I mean, the bone like things that they're like kind of around it, but I can still see the star like in there, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I think I've kind of already established that my chaos eyes are starlight based. So what I'm imagining is a beam of starlight going into the cage, not necessarily attacking the cage itself. I'm kind of assuming that these stars are probably a little dimmer than they normally would be. They're a little like, kind of, and I think I'm actually attempting to add energy to the star so that it can burst out of the bone cage kind of on its own, if that makes sense.
Interesting. All right.
imagining it just getting brighter and brighter as kind of that line of starlight is connecting, and then it just kind of like hopefully shattering its own cage.
All right. I'm going to say give me a sulfur roll to see how... This is definitely some sort of wizard bullshit, so...
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that goes.
I got boxcars.
Hell yeah!
Nice.
All right. Okay. So you turn your eyes to the heart of this cage and fire a beam of purest silver starlight into the heart of it. And the star inside immediately sheds that murky green radiance that it has. And the cage itself, actually, the creature that is the cage, rotates in midair to face towards you and slowly starts flying towards you, getting closer and closer. And, well, it's as big as a house, as I said, but as it flies towards you, it's gentler than... It's not coming into attack. It just seems to be sort of like a moth drawn to a flame as it basks in this starlight and eventually just sort of lands in front of you. Its giant bone cage sort of shaking the earth as it comes to rest. And you can hear that sort of rumbling, that murmuring, almost like a sort of cooing in pleasure and contentment as it lands there, sort of now filled with silver starlight.
Yeah, I think I go right up to it and kind of put my hand on it, and am I getting the sense that this is like is it? Okay, I guess my question at this point is, am I getting the sense that this is its natural state, that this creature carrying this star is how they get about in this odd pocket dimension, or do I get the sense that it's still unnaturally trapped and this is like not how it normally is? Like which like, is this its natural state or is this not its natural state for the star?
I would say it is almost certainly not how the star is meant to be. As you've got as you made your way across the Crystal City to here, you have seen stars rolling about in those channels in the crystal, just moving about like marbles in a toy. And stars aren't meant to just hang in midair. You know, you've learned that. You're a man of science. You're up to date on the current philosophies. Stars don't just sort of hang at fixed points in midair. They move about in the crystal sphere. But
of course,
yeah. But on the other hand, you do seem to have banished whatever strange corruption was tainting the star. So
I want to appreciate how we used the move that these legendary heroes had for befriending a castle denizen without actually using that move.
Yeah.
Hey, that one just guarantees it, or guarantees the outcomes of it.
Huh. Boy, I'm kind of at a loss for how to use this now. Any of you have any ideas?
I say we write it into the acolyte's lair.
We still need to deal with your constellation, though, right, Alexandria? And I think that's what these is that what these stars are?
That's
these
how I
trap
was
stars. Yeah.
Yeah, it's plausible.
Okay.
Do
Wow.
we interpret that Alexandria's mission is to restore a specific star, to restore the entire constellation, or yeah?
I think the spirit was a bit hazy, but what they wanted you to do is put their constellation into a form that was what's the word?
Lucky for them?
Yes, lucky for them. astrologically lucky.
Mm.
So you could probably do that by freeing these stars from their prisons, or alternative ways.
Or by befriending all of these strange
Yes.
creatures and then having them fly into a particular pattern to get you the lucky constellation that you need.
Yeah.
That works.
Okay. How do we? Man. All right. Let's. I don't even know how to. I don't even know.
Well, I guess we get Hector to blast some more eye beams to the rest of them.
Or at this point, I'm wondering if at this point I can use my connection with this one to influence the others. Like, I'm not sure. Like, do I need to just have another separate roll to blast each of the other individual stars and have a chance of them failing, or do I have to, or can I use this to kind of parlay into more of a relationship with whatever these creatures are to get what we need?
So I think now that you've done it with this one, you can take your time feeding the one that is still just flying in the void and win it over to your side. A bit like sort of luring a horse in with sugar cubes. The one that crashed in the city is going to be another matter.
Okay.
Sorry.
Don't you apologize. Don't you dare.
At least we know where to find it.
Yeah.
Is there any way that, if we had a closer inspection of this now befriended bone lantern, is there any mechanisms or any latches that we could, poke around at to open and release the star?
It's plausible. So Saigon, you can get in close now and look around at its anatomy. And it looks like the bone spurs have grown downwards from those wings that are surmounting the lantern to trap the star in a cage. And there's a weak point in the bone at the base of the cage, just underneath the star, where the ribs met and fused.
The question is, do we want to use it, or we want to?
Yeah. So I think I point this out to you guys and bring you over. Should we break it or should we harness it? What do you want to do?
Alexandria says to set it free, knowing exactly what Hector is about to say.
Yeah. Also, Saigon, in the heart of it, speaking of harnessing it, you can feel more power just sort of boiling off that star in the center of it. This is a captive part of the universe, one of the lights in the heavens that was set to start rolling at the dawn of time. There's probably a valuable amount of power you could draw from that if you wanted.
But then it will go back to being green, wouldn't it?
It's difficult to say, really.
I think we've got star eyes over there that could catch our back if we start to go green. Maybe. What do you? I'm pretty tempted by this power.
I would be keeping my distance at this point and kind of a little I'm not going to stop anyone from doing anything, but I'm personally, I already gave light to this, I'm not going to take from it. So I'm probably looking at you, standing back, just looking a little disapproving, but I'm not really saying anything or trying to stop you.
I would also be quite tempted to take any power from the bone lantern itself. Maybe that could weaken the bone lantern further.
Yeah, that's true. Now that you've got it sort of captive and docile here, maybe you can take some of its vital essence, sap that away. That's doable. What do you
Yeah,
want
so
to do?
I think Alexandria would try to get you to not take the power out of the celestial body itself, but is totally cool with you taking power out of these bone lanterns.
I am
Yeah.
sad that we won't get to ride bone lanterns into the regent's castle. But I'll keep that to myself.
Look,
riding
there's
bone
more-
lanterns containing stars, right at the yeah, that'd be amazing.
Look, there's a few more up there. Maybe we can lasso one down for you.
But we already have this one. Why not get another one and then harness the power from that one?
It's called
the one you-
investment.
Yeah, like
Blew up and it's the city.
yeah, sorry. Maybe I can gather some strength from this accursed creature and use that power against the other ones.
But we need to stop the region, not the bone lanterns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so many conflicting ideas. Can I no, okay, I'm gonna draw on the bone lantern's power.
All right, nice.
Just gonna like look once at Isidore and like go, mm-mm, sorry, not today.
Isidore is sad.
I'll take that.
All right, give me a sulfur roll as you drink deep from the power of the bone lantern. All right.
Can you assist with that? Does that work?
I think that worked.
Yeah, I got a 9.
Yep. Yeah, that's cool. Right, so you put your hand, I suppose, on the bone spur and try and take some of what this thing has to make it special, to make it powerful. And you can feel that flowing deep into your own marrow. So you want to get a point of contamination.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yep.
Contaminated from this creature.
Yes. And I will say that the spell you learn is that you can, you can grow wings, I think. And fly.
Awesome.
Not to burst your bubble, but now we have a bone lanternless star right here, and it's gonna go into that fissure again if we don't fix the fissure itself.
Yeah, so the bones around you just sort of crack and crumble, and indeed, this structure just falls into the fissure. But it leaves this star, which is it's bright, almost too bright to look at. But it itself is only about the size of, I don't know, a few meters across, just like this giant crystal marble sitting on the street in front of you. It's not going to go into the fissure until you roll it into it or what have you.
Oh, okay, good. I guess we have to fix the fissure anyways. Because the natural order is to have it roll, right?
Yeah. All right. So what's your next move? You've got this star. You know that another one crashed elsewhere in the city.
And there's another one floating, right?
Yes.
You said I could take my time and kind of very carefully feed that second one that's already flying, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I have to say that while Sigan has been drawing on the power of the captive one, you have managed to cool this one over. So it's somewhat tame also.
Okay. Can we all hop on it and fly over to the third that crashed?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
that sounds incredibly cool. So good. So you sort of get it to, I guess, float downwards into the fissure a bit. So that the top of it is actually. Are you going to ride within the cage or on top of it?
I guess on top of it, the cage itself has the big star, right?
It's true. It's true. All right, so you can get it to float down to the top of it is level with the street, and you can leap across onto its back. What are you doing about the old star, the now free star? Just leaving it where it is and hoping that you'll be able to put it back where it needs to be once you fix this place?
Or put it where it needs to be for Thestra to be lucky for the rest of her life, maybe.
Yeah.
Or on life. I don't know.
Can we use okay, I think I turn to Hector and I say, when we find the other star, you need to cast that spell and put them back into the sky.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Can we communicate with the star?
It's not
Okay.
intelligent. It's just a fancily glowing magic rock, you know?
And the
Sure.
bone lantern?
The bone lantern, you can communicate like a wild animal, you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at the moment it's basically a wild animal that Hector has fed to satiation, so that it's now sort of docile and dozy. You definitely get the
Saigon
feeling that
gives
they've
it a
been
little.
feeding on the light of these stars.
Saigon gives it a little scratch. It's a puppy.
So then I could. If we don't want to leave this one behind, I could cast my Can I cast my anti-gravity spell on things other than myself?
Yeah, I'll say touch range.
Okay. So then I'm thinking we're hopping on this thing to fly away, but what if we tow the other one with us through the air after I cast this anti-grav spell on it, so that we can keep them all together, as opposed to leaving this one behind and then coming back to see that it's either gone or messed with or something like that. That seem
Good
reasonable?
stuff. Yep.
Okay, so
Does anyone have any rope that you can use?
Do we have anything that we could use for that?
I'm sure. In my satchel, I have some.
Sorry, Alexandra has survivalist gear.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
that sounds heaps better.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
I have some survivalist gear.
Nice.
Yay.
All right. So yeah, I'll definitely walk up to the star that's just sitting there and put my hand on it, and I think momentarily my eyes. What?
Well, then don't waste the spell, right? Can we just drag the star? I mean, the bone lantern is clearly capable of lifting a star aloft.
So you don't need to. You won't forget the spell when you cast it here,
Oh,
unless
okay,
you
okay.
choose to.
Yeah. I have a couple other options other than forgetting it, so I can use it again. Yeah. So I think I'm going to do that. I'll cast it on it, and just kind of put my hand on it, and then it'll kind of I'll be able to like tie whatever their rope around it, attach it to the bone lantern, kind of just drag it through the air with us when we go.
All right.
But in order to cast that, I have to do
Contamination
do
or harm.
contamination
Or forget the spell.
I think it's contamination. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
take another contamination. I'm up to 2. Oh, I need to put that on the sheet here. I'm just writing it down.
I might be
What's up?
forgetting. Did you roll a 10+ when you learned this spell?
No,
Okay.
it was
Cool.
a 7.
All right. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. In which case, yes. Mark contamination. Hooray!
Yeah, that's 2 contamination. Okay, great. All right.
All right.
So I forgot to mark another one earlier.
So Alexandria lashes the star to the surviving bone lantern. You all climb aloft and fly away. I think Hector, as the one in charge of the bone lantern, it makes sense for you to do the navigating here. And give me a travel the labyrinth roll.
All right. Let's see. Travel the labyrinth uses which stat? Is it
Blood.
blood. Okay, I've got 2 blood. All right. It's an 8.
Okay. All right. What insight do you gain into the crystal sphere's purpose or layout as you fly over it, looking for the crashed lantern?
Let's see.
Oh, and by the way, I want to point out that once we're done with this scene, we have 3 holds, so we can go to the acolyte directly.
Indeed.
Cool. All right, what are the other insights that we've had so far on the place? It was it reflections on the thing? What were they? I think that you had one, Maria, and you had one.
So
Mine
it was
is
what?
the
Maria?
paths of. Mine was the paths of the crystal spheres themselves. And
Okay.
I don't know what was the other one. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
Alexandria realized that changes in the layout here would be reflected in the real world.
Okay. Let's see. This area. Describe your insight into the ward's purpose or layout. Oh man.
Could just be that we have the 3 hold. Maybe you see the path or see a path to the ward himself, or to the acolyte.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
could I have something for this if you're all right with that.
That sounds great.
Okay. So I'll say from your high vantage point now, flying over the crystal spheres, you get a sense of its layout, and you also get a sense of the scope of the changes and destruction that's been wreaked by these silver metallic servants of the castle. And a large amount of stuff has been put out of alignment. And in particular, the sun, the giant golden orb, has been blockaded into one particular section of the channels. It normally is at the very center of things, and now has been dammed away so that it's kept off to one side. And in that place where the sun, the center of the universe, should sit, there is a golden creature, visible from here, shining with bright but slightly repugnant light, a giant sphere of wings and hands and eyes.
Yeah, I think as we're just flying over to the crashed star, I will, I think we all probably see this, or I point, just straight point to it. I don't think I say a word because we're obviously on our way to do this other thing first. But I mean, I think it's very clear that that's our eventual goal.
Nice. And you can and you do indeed spot the crashed lantern, and as it's lying there, its bone ribs are largely shattered, and the lime has continued doing its job at eating away at them, even if the initial impact didn't do much. And it's lying there, sort of twitching sadly and in pain, surrounded by those silver-fingered goblins who are picking away at parts of its bones, prodding at the star, and sort of talking among themselves excitedly and industriously.
I will jump down and try to scare the goblins away by murdering them.
That would be pretty scary. All right, the old intimidation by murder. Give me a face the horde roll.
That's a 13.
Nice.
And I will.
They're very
Corruption.
murdered and
Well,
very.
it says corruption here, but I'll mark contamination instead.
Oh god. Yeah, I need to do a control F and. Anyway, so you just have a great time hacking through these goblins who are not really expecting Angry Shepherd from the sky. And those of you above watch as Isidore just cuts loose in a blur of motion and death slicing away large chunks of these goblins and sending the rest fleeing into the Crystal City. And the square is yours. You can land next to the crippled, ruined lantern.
Is the so the lantern itself is broken? Is the star is the crystal star is free?
Intact. Yep. Free and intact.
Is it greenish or is it nice and bright at this point?
It's actually quite faded. There's a greenish tinge to it, but actually you can see on the floor beneath it, there's a sort of pool of silvery, bright speckled liquid. It's leaking a little.
Hmm. Is there any way that I can...
The holes, and a star.
Well, I assume Starlight might do that. Starlight to feed it, Starlight to seal it up. I don't know.
I mean, possibly if you rotated it so that the hole was at the top, you could then fill it up with Starlight and it wouldn't leak out.
Sure, let's do that, I guess.
Saigon also wants to take a little file out of her satchel and just take some Starlight just for a rainy day.
Nice. I'd say that's enough to give your bloodline a relic that they can use in rituals and such. I'll just note that down. Who is... So I presume Hector is going to be in the film filling this thing with Starlight. What roles are the other people taking?
I think I'd help.
Yeah.
This is my quest. Hector has been kind enough to see this through with me.
Okay.
I will guard the post to make sure the goblins don't come back.
All right. Yeah. Cool. I think... So Isidore stands on guard. Alexandria, do you want to give me an aid roll for Hector? I think it makes sense that this uses iron because you're holding the star in place and it's quite a physical feat. You can spend a point of covenant with him to give this advantage.
Oh, I can do an advantage. Yeah. Yeah. That's a 9.
That is much better, yes.
Yes. All right, which... Yeah, so that just removes the grudge or rivalry between you, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Makes sense to me,
actually. So does going to 0 remove the thing?
It makes it inactive until you strengthen it some more.
All right.
It's a bit like in Dungeon World with bonds, where you decide that they're not interesting you anymore, rather than when they resolve, sort of thing. It just sort of goes neutral.
Okay.
So we would resolve those at the end of the session.
Generally, actually, you're meant to be sort of strengthening or betraying them whenever you hit those triggers, but
in which case Hector's been hitting risking danger or cost to aid the other. I think Hector's done this at least twice that I can recall.
Okay, cool.
That's a good point.
Yeah, might be a bit case of too many triggers in some ways. Be easier if you had these covenants as sort of separate pieces next to you, but yeah. So yeah, put that down, covenant rating down to 2, I guess.
Great.
Okay. So Hector, do you want to roll sulfur with advantage?
Sure. All right, rolling sulfur. My sulfur is, I think, 0. Yeah, 0. So 3d6. That's a 12.
Nice.
2 6s in there.
All right. So Alexandria braces and keeps the star level as you open your eyes and just fill torrents of starlight into the star. And soon it too is glowing with that bright silver light. And the three stars together actually form some sort of harmony together, thrumming in unison. And the light seems to overlap in interesting patterns, creating strange colors in the air. And yeah. So the final step, you reckon, should probably be just to arrange these in a auspicious alignment.
I think I turn to Alexandria and look and see, what you want to do on this.
I say we go equilateral triangle.
Nice and simple.
Just point up to the sky.
All right.
All right. So you want the other one up there too. So I'm probably going to need to cast that anti-grav spell on this one as well.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. And just for fun, I'm gonna go up to it, put my hand on it, and it'll start to kind of rise. And I don't know if we want to also in order to get it up there, do we want to also attach rope to this one and attach both of those ropes specifically to the one that's like actively still able to fly by itself, and then it can kind of pull the other two up as well as it kind of goes up? I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I could also grow wings and help direct.
That's true. That's cool.
Yeah, if we have the rope attached to all sides, then we can make the equilateral triangles stay equilateral.
Yeah, good call.
Nice.
But they want to be free, right? So we don't need to tie them into a location. We just need to. To some degree, they're not sentient, but they have life, right?
Yeah.
Kind of.
So we pretty much just need to push them up into the sky. We don't need to place them necessarily, maybe.
Well, you want them to be in a particular alignment up there.
Okay.
But yes, probably if Saigon could just go up there and nudge them into the right shape, and you've got the rope to keep them roughly correct, that would do it.
Excellent.
So, yeah. Saigon, then, to cast that spell to grow wings and fly, you do need to pick one of the options in Drink Deep for what it costs you.
I think I'll take harm because the wings come out of my skin, and that creates wounds, like big, yeah.
All right. And you also get to pick one of your options from Arcanist because you're great at wizard spells.
Yeah, I want the spell to last as long as I like.
Okay. Good stuff. So until you decide otherwise, you have wings now.
Yay!
All right. So you let these lights go up into the sky. Sigan flies up with them and nudges them according to directions shouted from the ground. And at a certain point, Alexandria, you're looking up at them and it just feels right. There's a sort of spring in your step and you feel, yeah, this is good. This is good. And there's that sort of a feeling of an approving nod from your spirit.
Fantastic. I think I say, Vestra, our bond has been fulfilled.
It has.
Good, now time to kill the acolyte.
Let's go kill an acolyte.
All right.
With acolytes.
You could, for what it's worth, you could decide to take some shelter and just get yourself in peak fighting condition before hunting them down.
We didn't do that last time, so let's do it anyways. And
Okay.
also we have like 40 minutes, so
Yeah, it's enough time to get a start at least.
I'm not
We'll
gonna
see,
be
we'll
here next session, so it's gonna be weird if Isidore just disappears.
Well, I mean, Saigon is going to disappear as well, so I'm sure I can think up some reason.
All right.
I think.
In a realm of a pocket dimension, it's pretty easy to justify people flashing in and out of existence here. So I think that's pretty cool.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Okay, who's looking for a place to just sort of rest up and get yourself into fighting fitness?
And this is the shelter move. Is that what you're
Yes.
looking for?
Yes.
I think this place makes the most sense for me to do, just as far as that goes. So I think I'll find a good shelter area here.
Okay.
Let's see. How's that?
Roll Mercury.
Roll plus Mercury. Okay. I got a 4.
Oh God. Okay.
Is there any way that we could aid?
It wouldn't be enough, would it?
Isn't it an extra dice if you use a covenant?
Oh.
Well, it's an extra die regardless if we do help, but
Right. Okay. What do you guys want to do then?
I was thinking that
How do you help out?
I was thinking that I could use my runes to look around for shelter, and calling on that covenant bond that we have. It's just like another debt racked up.
All right.
I'm getting in deep here. I love it.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right. Do you want to give me a Mercury roll for cast the runes then, Sigan?
That's okay.
All right, another boxcars. All right. So in which case, Hector, do you want to roll another dice for that? We'll see if it does any better.
Wish me luck here.
It's 50-50.
4, and
hey,
then I had
that's enough.
I had a 3. That's a 7. That's a 7. Thank you for the help. Definitely in your debt.
All right. Okay, so you find you're about to enter one of the crystal houses thinking, oh, this will be safe, when Saigon looks up from some runes that have fallen on the floor and is like, no, not that one. And points off in a direction. And yeah, you find another house that another one of these strange, not quite clock towers, not quite homes to shelter in. And yeah, so you have found a safe space to recover. But on the other hand, the regent's clock will advance by 1. So, hey, Hector, that means you get another relic.
I do, yeah.
So you can see, all of you, that giant sphere of hands and wings and eyes start burning bright with flame and power and start rising up to take the sun's position. But as you see that through the windows, each of you can take steps to prepare yourself. So each of you picks one of the options from the shelter. You can heal another explorer's wounds. You can give another explorer advantage on their next roll. Or you can use your bloodline's shelter move.
I would like someone to use to heal me a bit. Particularly removing my harm, since it is exactly 2 harm, I think.
Yes.
What I have right now, so
2 harm or heal your lightest wound.
My lightest wound is Yeah, light one. So
Yeah.
I would rather take away the harm.
Okay. What are you doing, Isidore?
I my so I will. Let's see if I. Does anyone want to avoid mark contamination at this point? Because that's what
Yeah.
my shelter move does.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
yeah. So yeah, I will inspire others with tales of selfless heroism, and the next time you would mark contamination while trying to aid or protect another explorer, you ignore it.
Great.
Okay. Alexandria, what are you doing to prepare your fellows?
So my bloodline move, my shelter move is when your explorer finds shelter in the castle, they may lead the group in prayer. They each hold one. Spend the hold to miraculously avoid a curse, spell, or mystical attack. So I think I want to say a little prayer for us and give us some hold.
Okay. Yeah. Ellen, what are you planning on doing?
I'd like to use my bloodline shelter move. I'd like to upgrade and reinforce the party's gear.
All right. So everyone holds one for that as well. You spend the hold to get advantage on a strike or a withstand.
Okay.
And Hector, are you going to be the one to do the healing?
You're muted.
Yeah, I can do that. And
Okay.
also, am I able to use, when am I able to use my specialist skills, like the specialist thing? I have
So
an
that's when you're at a safe camp that your bloodline controls.
Okay,
So that's, when you've defeated an acolyte and
gotcha.
claim their position.
Okay, yeah. So then, yes, I'll do the heal move to get Isidore back in good shape here.
Nice.
All right, cool. Thank you.
All right, so Isidore heals 2 harm, and everyone has slightly better gear and a sort of, a feeling of selfless heroism inspiring you, and a aura of holy devotion protecting you. Hooray!
All right.
All right, and I assume you leave here and spend your 3 travel labyrinth hold to arrive at the acolyte's lair.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to say, Hector, you've taken the group through the winding passages of the Crystal City. It's obvious where you're heading. There's a giant glowing creature up in the sky, but it's where you can go to best assail it. And you find a path to a plateau rising up out of the crystal, just underneath it. In fact, enough that it's only hovering a few feet above the ground. And you can climb the ladder up the... Well, it's not really a ladder. It's more just handholds carved into the side of this plateau as it rises up out of the crystal. The 4 of you can feel the crystal growing warm to the touch as you go up until you file up onto the top of this plateau, and there is the creature in front of you. This close, it is in constant motion. It is, as I said, a sphere of wings beating and eyes moving along the wings and hands grasping and opening where the feathers for the wings should be. And within this whole terrible mess, you can see what looks like flashes of a bright lantern holding the light of the sun, burning and awful.
I guess time to stab this thing until it frees the sun.
Nice. So it is looking in all direction, of course, but its light seems to be focused on the world above you. You can see as it sort of sweeps its gaze across the world, shadows moving as it moves past mountain ranges and great valleys. And it doesn't seem to have noticed you yet. What do you do?
Who wants to go? Or do you want me to go?
Go for it.
All right, I will. Advantage on what was the advantage on for withstand and strike? I think, or
Yes.
what was it? Yeah. Okay. All right, I will. If it hasn't noticed yet, I want to stab it. As long as it hasn't noticed us yet.
All right. Okay. Okay. So you just sort of walk forward, brace yourself, and just slash at it with your great sword.
Yeah.
Nice. I will say that is. Yeah, that sounds like withstand.
All right.
You're just sort of planting your feet and charging directly at the danger.
All right. And I get the advantage, or
Yes,
I'll get
if
the
you
advantage.
spend the hold.
I will spend the hold
Okay, cool.
because it's better for me to spend the hold on withstand than on strike because I already get a bunch of strike bonuses.
Nice.
And that is a 10. Or no, 12. Sorry.
Nice. All right. God, is this the old version of this too?
I guess.
Yes, because that should be pick 1, pick 2 on a 7 to 9, pick
All
1
right.
on a 10 plus
So
2.
I'll create an opening and I will take 1 less harm. So
Okay.
I'll mark contamination.
All right.
So I'm at blood 3 now.
Ooh, nice.
And I will get a +1 to iron.
Good stuff.
Because of course.
Yeah.
That's the only stat I ever need. Oh, not 4 iron, 3 iron.
Yeah. Oh God, not 4 iron.
Yeah, no.
So you just before it can react, you charge at this creature, rock up beneath it, plant your feet, and just swing your sword, cutting through those wings and hands and eyes, and that exposes the giant lantern burning in the center of it. It's a sort of focused lantern, a bit like a sort of bullseye lantern or something, that was pointed at the earth, sweeping across it like a sun might, that then spins round and swivels. And in the center of the burning flame in there is a giant crystal eye that focuses on you and then directs a torrent of fire back at you. But you're able to sort of dodge out of the way of that, so you only take 1 harm.
All right, I'll take 1 harm.
And as it sort of its wings madly beat to try and steady itself, having been shorn by your blade, there is an opening that other people can use to strike at it. Who's up?
Anybody else want to go for it? Or I could. Sure. I'll take the opening then. All right. So is the opening that I see, is it the revealing of that eye, or is it the way that, like, what am I particularly noticing, I guess?
Yeah, I would say that it's so with this many wings beating constantly, maintaining its balance is a delicate thing. So it's now sort of jostling and trying to keep itself upright. So it is unable to fly quickly out of the way of anything.
Perfect. So I think I'm looking at the pattern of how those wings are moving and beating, and I'm kind of able to. I'm looking to piece out, okay, where is this wing going to be in the next, like moment here, so that I can basically line up a perfect shot of starlight directly, like piercing that wing. That's the goal.
All right. Okay, that is a strike, I think.
And
what
you've got
stat
that hold as well, from the upgrade gear if you wanted
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
I was aiming to go with precise insight as to where those wings are going to be in that particular moment, but
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
okay. And yeah, heck, well, I'll use the advantage I've got on that. So I'm rolling 3d6 plus 3 now.
I mean, technically, that's sort of upgrading your gear. So I suppose it's you're wearing fancy spectacles or something.
I'm sorry, what?
So the hold comes from the hidden hand breaking out special resources to upgrade your gear. So I'm just trying.
Yeah.
So what special resources is it that you're using
I don't know.
here?
That's a good question.
You mentioned
Yeah, I think what's that?
You mentioned fancy spectacles, so I like that idea because it's like,
Yeah.
and then it gets destroyed as you use your your I-beam, so that's expensive one-time use.
Yeah, I'm imagining it like, so I've seen these like crazy ones, like in like, some steampunk settings or whatnot, where it's like multiple lenses that can kind of swivel down into view, or some into view and some not. So I'm like very quickly tick tick tick, just putting like 3 of them, into exact alignment, and the rest kind of off to the side. And then starlight is kind of shooting out of my eyes as we're doing that. So let's see, rolling 3d6 plus 3.
Yep.
That's a 13.
Nice.
All right. So when I hit damage with those qualities.
So you were trying to take out its wings, yeah?
Yes.
All right, good stuff. You can do that.
Okay.
But yeah, and I don't even get to pick away for it to lash out at you. All right.
Yeah. And the attack does have piercing and hefty. I don't know if that matters here.
Yeah, I think that's going to assess what impact it does to them. So it's not that, for example, you've neatly snipped the tendons in the arms or what have you. It's that, so you open your eyes and the starlight fills these glasses and punches out in a way that sort of melts the glass. There's a concentrated blast. It's like the sort of lenses have sort of, like a laser, held it repeatedly, reflecting back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and building up intensity until this just a giant blast that just cuts a cylinder through this sphere. And there's a sound like falling rain as dozens of hands and wings just fall to this plateau around you, and then a thunk as the giant lantern hits the floor, and a horrible sky-splitting scream, and the creature, its glorious and terrible symmetry now utterly destroyed, plants down its remaining arms and lifts its lantern up like the belly of a horrible spider. So, I will say it. Yeah, so it gets knocked down and picks itself back up again, and it's now looking about with that eye in the lantern at the 4 of you, seeking out who it can punish for this transgression. Alexandria and Sigan, what are you doing?
While Hector was beaming away the wings, Sagan was crouched down, holding the heirloom needle in their hands and like whispering like quiet a quiet song over it and gathering its strength. And when the moment that the lantern creature like stands itself back up, Saigon like jumps up and launches themselves towards the eye with this one needle like aiming for the pupil of the eye, and
Okay,
throwing their body in the line of fire.
nice. Give me a iron roll for confronting danger head on.
And so confronting danger head on.
That's withstand.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Because you need to have a opening in order to directly deal harm to.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh dear. Oh, that's a bad miss.
Ow.
All right. So I think that you are willing yourself to be quick and deadly and precise like the needle, lunging into the pupil of this eye, but you're just not quick enough, and it narrows, and then just this jet of fire pours out at you, all around you. So first up, take 2 harm from the fire. Actually, no. I would say the pupil sort of narrows, and knowing that you are seeing that you're going for the lantern, it pulls back, and instead one of those many arms that it still has just lunges down and pins you to the floor, and then grabs you and sort of lifts you upright, sort of level with the eye and sort of glaring at you. Alexandria, you're nearest when this goes down. You can see that the creature has gripped Signum and is bringing it level with that terrible fire beam, ready to just roast them alive. What do you do? Oh, you're muted.
So I can't make direct. I can't deal direct damage until there's an opening, right?
You can't do lasting, useful damage. You know, you can hurt them, but as a means to an end.
So maybe. So Sigint is being lifted up. It's no longer on the ground.
Yes.
Okay.
They don't take the 2 harm yet, right?
No.
So I don't have wings, and I don't have any gravity potions. I'm useless. No, let's do.
Well, you don't have. You haven't got used spiritual fusion yet. This.
No, I have
round,
not.
right?
No, no. Let's do that. So I'm going to fuse with my spirit, and what am I going to try to do? I think I want to. You said that this creature has a bunch of spider legs, arms. Well,
basically, yeah.
Or you can use the wall to block its vision, like literally block its vision.
I think I want to I want to pin its. I want to pin its legs together. I want to make it immobile.
Okay. All right, I could see a way that worked. Give me a sulfur roll.
That is an 8.
Okay, so you hold 2. I imagine you're going to spend one of those, sharpish.
Yes, please.
All right. So I'll say what happens is the spirit of this shield maiden surges out of you and grows in stature until it's level with the creature, and just grabs its arms and tries to put them in a sort of headlock and wrestle with it. And Sigan, you can still feel it sort of gripping around you, but it's not focusing on lining you up to be blasted with its horrible lantern beam. It's focusing on grappling this spectral shield maiden that has appeared and started fighting it.
Could I use my needle to like pierce the limb that is clutching at me?
Yeah, I'd say that's totally doable. Give me a mercury roll.
Yes.
Oh, I needed
Another
that.
boxcar. All right. So you get to pick 2 from the dodge list.
And you made
Create an opening.
All right.
And I avoid taking harm.
Okay. So I'll say that, yes, you stab this needle deep into the hand in front of you, and it screeches and just opens and drops you to the floor. And then it's sort of casting about for this new irritation. It just sort of swipes down at you with an arm, which you easily dodge. But that gives the shield maiden the opportunity. She needs to just sort of push the creature to the floor a bit more and pin it even further, restricting its movements. On the downside, your needle is still in that hand. But is it all?
I will take it advantage and stab it in the eye.
Yes.
Sounds good. Give me a strike with iron.
All right. Okay, so I get 2d6 plus 3. That's a 7. And I get to restore my last heal the last time I took because I landed as a successful strike.
Yep.
And that will let me see the consequences. Oh, the GM picks the consequences.
Yes.
So
you were stabbing in the eye, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think, you as it's sort of pinned there, you just take your sword and just shove it straight into that lantern, into the pupil of the burning eye, and out the other side. And that silvery fluid that was inside the star that leaked all over the that particular square. Something similar just sort of pours out of this eye. A silvery mercury-like fluid, but with great gobbets of black mold and corruption floating in it. Just floods this area, and then alights like an oil slick, catching you in it. So you take 2 harm.
All right, I'll take the 2 harm.
All right. And now it is screaming in anguish and pain and horror as it is blind and crippled and being grappled by some sort of giant Viking. But, well, then the spirit fades away. Its particular manifestation this time run out, and it tries to sort of totteringly get itself up on its remaining limbs. Hector, you've been watching all of this from a distance, and you can see its struggle to regain its footing. What do you do?
I step forward, and the sound dampens down as it has in the previous battle, as I'm about to use, and next you'll say. The ritual phrase that I've used up until now so far has been, I have seen it in the stars, but at this moment, I put my hands out to the side, just outstretched, and I say, I have seen it in these stars. I say that you will, in your fear and anger, lash out towards, let's see, what do we have right next to there? We have, let's see, where are you at, Saigon?
I'm probably around the legs somewhere, like I've just scrambled away.
Sure. I think I say, yeah, I've seen it in these stars. In your anger and hatred and fear, you will stomp and try to harm Saigon. Do you dare defy this future? And yeah, I'm trying to roll for and next you'll say here, which is
Give me
glass.
a glass roll.
All right. And that is a 14. All right. So for this one, you get to choose to either do exactly what I predicted, or you stumble, hesitate, and flinch.
It does exactly what
but
you
on
predicted.
on a 10 plus, I reveal a trap that I've set to take advantage of this prediction.
Can I help with that? Because I was right there next to the eye, and I want to. Yeah. So I guess the opening would be like, and also the opening is that it ignores me, I guess. Or what was the trap that you were thinking?
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. I think that by predicting this particular future, it is going to ignore the future of you attacking right in that moment before it can stop Saigon.
Perfect.
All
right. So I think it almost sort of defies you, like, well, screw you. Yes, I am going to do that. I don't care what you say. And rears back with one of its giant arms to slap down on Saigon and crush them. But yes, it is forgetting that Isidore is right there.
And who wants to take advantage of the last opening? Or this opening, rather.
Alexandria. Go for it. What's your plan?
Yeah, I want to use one of my blood moves, Apotheosis. Your spirit, is that the one? Yeah. Your spirit reveals its true form, though it taxes your body to host it. Mark contamination to channel its full power into an attack, giving it advantage and a tag of your choice.
Nice.
This thing is still alive, right?
Yeah. So what I'll say the opening, if it's okay, the opening is it rears back to attack Saigon, and Isidore just cuts out one of its tendons, sending it crashing to the ground.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, what does your apotheosis look like, Alexandria?
What did I decide about this? I want to say that what does it look like? I want to say that it's sort of matching I'm going to say it's an incarnation of the celestial, of the equilateral triangle that we just sort of put into place. It's sort of 3 orbs of light that just sort of shine around the body of this acolyte.
Okay. And how do they attack?
Maybe it has some sort of concentrated death ray that meets in the center.
Nice. What tag are you adding to the attack?
Is there a list? Is this a...
Yeah, the weapon tags list.
Weapon tags. Let's say... let's say piercing.
Okay. Sounds good.
So is that a blood roll?
You are attacking through this giant piercing light. I think that is taking advantage of an opening with sorcery, probably.
Okay.
So that's sulfur.
Sulfur. I think I do that. I do. Neat.
All right, an 8. Good stuff. So the light blazes through. These 3 stars form and just illuminate the false star with light, stripping away its remaining limbs and feathers and eyes, and just burning out. As it does so, you have to you have to maintain this spirit. You have to host this spirit as it does this work of burning away the creature and pacing forwards towards the heart of the false sun, even as it thrashes and knocks at you and tries to lash out with crystals that it's picked up from the floor. So you take 2 points of harm as you do this, but eventually you are standing over its smoking, charred body. It is dead.
Yay!
All right.
Go team.
So theoretically, you all get to raise blood and add 1 to your covenant with each other.
Do we have to do both or just do?
No, you can choose to do either.
Okay, I'll raise covenant with Hector again. I will not raise my blood because it is at 3.
Oof. But I think for those of you that will be returning for the final session, we can do that at the start.
Okay, that sounds good.
Because it's getting late, and I think good time to wrap this up, as you have defeated the corruption lurking within the crystal spheres and returned it to its proper order.
Yay!
Nice.
Yeah. So, thank you all. That was great fun. Sorry for the bit of a slow start. Should have got my ducks in a row getting things sorted out earlier, but I had a great time.
It's all good.
Do you people want to say roses and thorns, things you liked, things you didn't like?
I'm gonna have to go, but as always, I loved it. You guys are great. It was nice to meet you, Ellen. And
see you next time.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Right.
Before I run away, I love the setting. Like, it's just a really cool setting, and it feels like you can do anything. Like, it just because it's such like an unreal setting, you can just grow wings. That's so cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment since I've already mentioned different hacks of this hack in your personal Discord.
Yeah.
Or public Discord for UFO Press.
Yeah.
But still, yeah, I did enjoy this particular session, and probably because stars, but yeah, but I did enjoy this particular session. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. I had a great time as well. I really liked. I like how different this particular part of the castle is than the last. That's something I really enjoy about this system. Is just like what you've got going with how incredibly different the different settings can be. I just can't wait to see where we go next. So no, I had a great setting. I really enjoyed the weirdness and otherworldliness of this one, and I just really enjoyed all of it.
Okay. Nice. Any thorns, any useful playtest things for me to work off? I mean, for me, I will say that I was testing out this session, just having a generic sort of defy danger sort of thing for people to do during castle exploration. And I think it worked all right, but it could do with being codified into an actual thing that more of the system keys into.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was gonna say. Just codify it.
Yeah.
Yep, that's honestly my big feeling as well. I think it works well. I think something like that could be very useful as long as it's got the right flavor for the particular system and the right mechanical interactions with what we've got going here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dig it though. I'm really
Okay.
enjoying this system.
Nice. All right. Unless anyone has any final comments.
Nothing big at the moment. If I think of anything else, I'll hit you up on Hangouts or something like that. And
All right.
I'll come up with
Then thank you all for another lovely session. And yeah, very nice gaming with you, Alan.